breaks of sun in parts of
we
the
are back
area,
from our
and
lunch
the increasing
break,
threat
and
for a
we are
shower or
continuing
thunderstorm by the
with
late afternoon or evening. Highs pushing up to about 70 with an increasing southerly breeze. And there will be a shower or thunderstorm or two around tonight as well, otherwise varying amounts of cloudiness, lows holding in the 50s. Friday, clouds mixed with some sun and quite windy, high 70 to 75. Northwesterlies at 15 to 30 miles an hour tomorrow, gusting over 40 miles per hour at times. I'm meteorologist Bob Cox in the WTIC Weather Center. I don't feel like it's intentional. I feel like it's like nonsense. I don't know. It's just weird, man.
It just came out of nowhere.
It did come out of nowhere. Just because he said on TV that, yeah, I chat with Kevin Durant all the time. I text with him. Oh, you don't. Stop lying. Now, Chris Broussard, you're right. He has to respond.
Makes himself look bad if he doesn't.
Well, it also undermines his credibility
Well, that's what I mean.
as a journalist.
100%.
Yeah, right. So he has to
No doubt
respond
about
to
it.
it.
And he did it the right way.
I agree.
He did. You know, by the way, the All-NBA teams were revealed today. And, you know, this really puts the Hornets in a rough spot. So Kemba Walker, who rightfully was named All-NBA team to one of the NBA why can't I say that? To one of the All-NBA teams, right? And as a result, he's now eligible for the Supermax here, which equates to as much as $221 million over the next 5 years. On what planet would you give Kemba Walker $221 million?
I mean,
he's not that good.
I like Kemba Walker.
I do too.
A lot, and he's grown his game so significantly. But if you're a team that's trying to compete, and there's a few of them you could think about where he would go and be a good piece. LA is one. Come out the Lakers. Probably not the Knicks, as you've mentioned many times. But there's some teams that he could go to. If you pay Kemba Walker, if Kemba Walker's making $220 and he comes to your team, then you're hamstrung. You know what I mean? And so,
well, he wouldn't get $221.
I know. From another team.
From the Hornets, he would. Supermax.
Well, I mean, you could.
It's about $30 or $40 million more than he'd get elsewhere.
What is it?
But
What is it?
still,
190? So 191, I think it is.
Yeah,
I think
about
that's the.
But if he stays in Charlotte, it's 46 roughly. $46 million a year.
They can't do that.
I wouldn't do it if I owned the team.
Yeah.
And I really like Kemba. Kemba's good.
And if you're
he's good.
If you're let's just assume the Lakers. Say you're the Lakers and you have Kemba Walker come for that max, and it's 191. So it takes up one of your slots, max slots. Is that worth it for Kemba Walker in LA? Probably not Kemba Walker in Charlotte. You're right, because that truly financially hamstrings it. But is it worth it in LA?
Well, now, if I'm running the Lakers, that's not the move I would make. Although desperate teams have to do some desperate things. And again, I'm not saying that if you sign Kemba Walker, it's a C- type of a. I mean, the Supermax would be F. That's just like John Wall. He's making $40 million a year for an aging guard. That's not palatable. Finally, I couldn't do that. But from the Lakers' point of view, you know what I would do rather than chase down Kemba? I would really engage the Wizards, and I would try to get Bradley Beal next to LeBron.
Yeah, we were just talking about that. Bradley Beal's in an interesting spot.
He is.
He's a borderline great player. And they're going nowhere.
No.
Nowhere in Washington.
Yeah.
And so it's probably mutually beneficial. Like the Wizards need to move him, and he necessarily wants to be moved.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what he's thinking, but if he's thinking that it's time to start winning, he's probably thinking it's probably time. Yeah, no, I hear you, to leave the Wizards. You know, he's a guy, and I was just looking at this morning. You know, he's going to be 26 in June. He's played.
It feels like he's been around longer than that.
He came in, he was 19. He came in the NBA, he was 19. He's been around 7 years. Crazy. I hear you. It doesn't seem like it, but it feels like he's been around. I almost can't.
Yeah, right.
I don't. Of course, I do.
1, 2,
but I feel
3,
like
4, 5.
I can't really vividly recall the
That should
NBA
be
without
all the
Bradley Beal.
electrolytics on that
Not that he's
board.
elevated. I don't mean, although he's good, I just think he's been around a long time. But he's going to be 26 in June. He started and played in 164 out of 164 possible games the past 2 years. Iron Man after some leg issues early in his career. The moment he enters any gym, he's one of the best shooters in the entire building. He's an elite shooter. Three-pointers a little bit down this year, but I think because Wall was out, he had to do some more and wasn't getting set up as much. It actually dipped to about 36%, which for him represents a horrific season. He's had a couple of years shooting 40% from downtown. He's strong. He's 6'5". He's not going to really bust you off the dribble and attack the rim and self-create too much. But him with LeBron,
then reassemble it.
I'm a huge Bradley Beal fan, much more than Kemba.
That would be
Kemba's
that would be an interesting move. Also, when that All NBA team.
86 burglars were asked how they broke into homes, and they all said they knocked on the door first. That's why you need Blink XT2 cameras. They detect motion, so you'll get an alert and you can see and talk to who's there. Tell the delivery guy where to leave the package or just say hi when the kids get home. Blink XT2 cameras start under $100, so thanks to Blink, home security just got easier.
Blink cameras are available on Amazon and Best Buy, or visit blinkprotect.com/alert. blinkprotect.com/alert.
For those of you who garden and are interested in lawn care, Ocean State Job Lot has an enormous selection of grass seed, fertilizer, weed and feed, turf builders, grub control, soil, peat moss, and mulch. Our burpee flower and vegetable seeds are 50% off. We have an enormous selection of solar lighting and yard decor. For those of you that have pools, 1 gallon of liquid pool shock and 1 pound powder shock is an amazing $2.99 each. If you're ready for spring, we're ready for you at Ocean State Job Lot.
Hey, it's Flo. And you know what word I've never understood? Top hat. Aren't all hats on top? They're like the toppest part of every outfit, unless I've been doing it wrong. That's why I stick with simple words like Flotection. It means the sense of security you'll feel when your new home is protected by home insurance through me and Progressive. Also, there shouldn't be a top hat unless there's a bottom hat. Wait, is that what underwear is?
Save an average of 17% on car insurance when you bundle home and auto through Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Discount not available in all states or situations.
Varicose and spider veins. Wow, what a gift from my mom. She had them, I got them, and not only are they uncomfortable and sometimes painful, but I stopped wearing skirts and shorts because I was embarrassed and I really hated the way my legs looked. When my kids asked me, "What are those things on your legs?" I was done. I finally went to Vein Clinics of America. The procedure took about an hour and I was right back to work. What they're doing with lasers these days is unbelievable. The staff made me feel so comfortable, and the results? Well, even my husband has noticed. Vein Clinics of America has been treating vein disease for over 35 years. They're the largest and most experienced in the U.S. Look, I've been doing the commercials for Vein Clinics for years because I really believe in them, and you can trust them too. The best part, my insurance covered the procedure, so stop hiding your legs. Call Vein Clinics of America now to see if you qualify for a free consultation. Call 800-737-5151. 800-737-5151. That's 800-737-5151.
His mix with Russell Westbrook. So I think it could just be because we never talked about KD as being an MVP candidate all season long.
No, we take it for granted a little bit here.
Agree.
We do.
Regular season MVP candidate, even though he always seems to win the Finals MVP MVP. We never think of him as a regular season MVP, even though he has won one.
And we should, because I remember saying a couple of days here on the show, when you get some of these dopey theories, the Warriors are better without Kevin Durant. First of all, if you think that, you're clueless. Big picture. Yeah. Because all the things he does, he just alleviates the pressure. Steph Curry, every year, is going to twist that ankle for a couple games. Some years worse than others, and he's going to have to sit down for a little bit, and, Draymond's going to go through a prolonged stretch where he can't shoot, where he's like, 26%. You can't even hit an open 10-foot jump shot. Forget about 3 balls.
But he is when it counts.
Oh, no. He's been playing great for a while now. Dre's got his act together, but there was a point where he was terrible. He was wretched statistically. And Kevin Durant masks a lot of that. That's not sexy, but in terms of pure value, Klay Thompson also has had some spurts for him, inefficiency. And Kevin Durant allows all that to kind of go away and not be amplified.
Who's more valuable to the Warriors, Steph or KD?
I think it's Durant. Now, are we starting in the playoff? Well, I still think it's Durant.
Yeah.
Because I think
Either or.
Yeah.
Because that's our poll question today. Who's more valuable, Steph or KD?
90% say Steph so far. We just put it up. I'm sure it's not a ton of votes yet. That thing's going to certainly become a little bit more equal, especially when I vote for Durant.
90.
That's ridiculous. I mean, Mike, how did you frame it? Because are you talking, because there could be a difference. For me, it's not. Like, if from October until middle of April, regular season, I would say Durant over Steph. From the start of the playoffs until now, I would still say Durant over Steph. The difference is the Warriors they're not playing good team. Like, the Blazers just weren't ready. If they faced a normal Western Conference power or semi-power in the Western Conference Finals, like most teams have to, and you didn't have Kevin Durant, they would have lost a couple of games.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hiding his value in the playoffs because they haven't played anybody that's worthy yet.
Well, a lot of people thought that the Rockets were probably the second best team in the West, and they beat them
I didn't like the Rockets. You know that. I don't like them at all. All year I didn't like the Rockets.
But during the series, did we not kind of think that the Rockets had the best chance of anybody in the West, even over the Nuggets and the Blazers, to beat the Warriors?
Definitely. The Rockets were the team that we thought would challenge
here. Yeah.
There wasn't another team in the West.
We did. But
And they were 1.5-0 against the Rockets. They were down by, 7 when KD went out? They won that game, then they won the next game?
Yeah.
They've won 5.5 straight games without KD. Now, I'm not saying they're better.
No, I know what you. I got
so
you.
here's how I phrased it. I didn't differentiate between regular season or postseason. I just said it like this.
Okay.
The NBA releases all NBA teams. Steph on the first team, KD on the second team. While most consider KD the best player in the world with 2 straight Finals MVPs, who's more valuable to the Warriors' success?
Okay.
Just simple. Who's more valuable? Now, it's gone down a little bit. 85% say Steph, 15% say KD. He's the best player in the world.
Interesting. And the other thing, too, is and I did acknowledge, even though I didn't think that they would win, I like the Rockets in terms of being, the best adversary or the most competition for the Warriors. But that was more of a reaction to the dearth of power in the West. Not that I was stamping the Rockets as a viable championship team. Big difference. It was like, all right, you got to pick a team. If there's one team that could theoretically beat the Warriors, all right, I guess it's the Rockets. Got to nominate somebody.
Who has a better chance, the Rockets or the Bucks?
Who's got a better chance? The Bucks.
To beat the Warriors.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. I think so. I definitely think so.
It's funny because we talked to Tillman Fertitta yesterday, and he was right. He talked about that game early in the season or one in late in the season. It didn't matter. They lost.
The Pelicans game.
Yeah, exactly. The Pelicans game. Yeah. Kind of put them into the 4th seed as opposed to the 2 seed, where now they would be facing the Golden State Warriors as opposed to facing them in the semifinal. The Rockets were playing the Warriors right now, going into the NBA Western Conference final. Do you think that makes a difference?
I would think that the Rockets would have had much more of a chance than the Blazers.
Yeah.
But I'd still probably pick the Warriors in 5. But then I also would have wanted to see how did the Rockets play the prior series. Like, there is such a thing as momentum, and I want to see which role players were stepping up. It's really hard to answer that now. But listen, I mean, you and I talk NBA every day. I didn't like the Rockets this season. You know that. I didn't like them.
I just like James Harden.
Oh, I mean, I'm not saying I don't like watching him play on a Friday night when he's going to bust you up for 40-something points.
Right.
I mean, the game of the week, sure. But in terms of, and Bob, did you see him and Chris Paul? They had, after they got knocked out, they almost went after each other in the locker room. I saw that story before the show, right before the show. They were on each other about ball distribution. It seems Chris Paul's got a little fed up with that, just bang the ball, and James Harden, monopolizes it for 20 seconds before he shoots. They almost threw. All right, coming up next here, we got inbounds, out of bounds, and here's a real weird subplot twist to the Porzingis, I'll say his name now, Knicks situation before they traded him to Dallas. Apparently, I'll tell you, this guy, more and more, Porzingis, he threatened the Knicks to trade him within 7 days, or he was going back to Europe, quitting on the Knicks.
Yeah.
Okay. That opens up the conversation. Talk about the globalization of the game, the expansion of the game. Could it actually maybe prove to be to the detriment of the NBA? We'll get to that after Rack right now.
Sports Flag. And guys, the Warriors don't expect to have Kevin Durant to start the NBA Finals due to the calf strain, but hope to have him back at some point in the series. Of course, they still have a couple of days to rest because the Raptors and Bucks tip off in Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals tonight in Milwaukee, with that series even at 2. Baseball action this afternoon, and a wild one right now in Baltimore. The Yankees going for the sweep of the Orioles. And after taking a 5-1 lead, the Yankees bullpen allowing 4 runs in the bottom of the 8th. However, Michael Givens just walked Aaron Hicks with the bases loaded, and the Yanks have a 6-5 lead. Bottom of the 9th in Toronto, it's Boston on top of the Blue Jays by a score of 8-2. Stephen Pierce with a home run for the Red Sox in this one. Bottom of the 8th, Detroit leads Miami 1-0. The Marlins have won their last 5. The Mets get a 3-run homer in the bottom of the 8th from Carlos Gomez after giving up 3 runs in the top of the inning and sweep the Nationals 6-4. Top of the 9th, Pittsburgh crushing Colorado by a score of 4.
Sean Hannity here, fighting the liberal media bias with the power of talk radio and you. But if we're going to have corruption within the FBI, they're going to try and steal a presidential election, living the American dream every single day and fighting to keep that dream alive for everyone.
Sean Hannity, tonight at 10 on WTIC News Talk 1080 and WTIC.com.
10 minutes from downtown Hartford, yet tucked away in a private country setting, removed from the hustle and bustle. Avon Old Farms Hotel offers corporate guests the best of both worlds. Whether you're hosting a company-wide sales conference in the beautiful Towpath Ballroom or conducting an executive session in one of our 5 more intimate meeting rooms. For additional information, please visit AvonOldFarmsHotel.com or call our sales team at 860-269-0234. You'll find that events here are anything but business as usual. Avon Old Farms Hotel.
I'm sick and tired of hearing things from uptight, short-sighted, narrow-minded hypocrites. All I want is the truth.
Hey.
Just give me some.
Good job, Red Sox. I can't believe the Red Sox are above 500. It seemed like all they were doing was losing this season, and now they're making a little run here. And that's what we have to do for the state of Connecticut. Got to make a run towards solvency, a run towards rational politics, a run towards small government, because small government and freedom are the same thing. They go together. That's the point that everybody has to understand. Somehow the socialists have been running things for so long that they've indoctrinated everybody into thinking that all problems are supposed to be solved by government. And thus we find ourselves bankrupt. The state of Connecticut is bankrupt because of that attitude, that one right there. And so many people automatically think, well, why don't they do something about this? But you remember what the founders were thinking about when they made America. When they had the chance to design a country that was going to transform the planet. What were they thinking about? They made a country with rules, with strict rules for the most important thing to have a successful country they could think of, and that was to restrict the power of government. The Bill of Rights, those first 10 amendments on the Constitution, were designed to make sure the government knew what its most important job was. And that was to stay out of our lives and to be limited in the scope of what it was doing. The most important job they gave to government was to leave us alone, and they won't leave us alone. And it's funny, you hear big government people like Ned Lamont pay lip service to that. They do it. They pay lip service to it. But they obviously have no respect for it. But even people like Ned Lamont, who never really thought about, what America is supposed to be about, obviously, they could just be confused. They could be uninformed. They maybe never had the chance to hear those ideas, or maybe it's been too long. They haven't thought about it.
There's a lot of skepticism about government running programs.
This is the governor. All right, this is when he gets kind of daffy. He's talking about paid family medical leave and how he's standing up. He wants to veto, that was, of course, a little grandstand yesterday. That was embarrassing. It shows the governor's threat to veto the most important piece of legislation for the left wing of the Democratic Party is paid family medical leave. That is to take more money away from you,
looks pretty good,
to reduce liberty more, and to take that liberty, transfer your liberty into the hands of government, which means it's not liberty anymore, it's oppression.
stage is. There's a left and a right.
Paid family medical leave is an
One more
oppression
eyeball of
program.
this.
Another one from the Democrats, and the governor says this about it.
There's a lot of skepticism about government running programs. I hear that wherever I go. And I'm going to do everything I can to make this bold, new item something that people have confidence we're getting right.
Wait, it's a bold new item, therefore it's bad for the state of Connecticut. It means more bankruptcy, not less. That's what bold is to them. How do they come up with an idea that's devious enough and clever enough and sad enough where they can find enough sad stories to tell about all the people who suffer because this bit of oppression isn't yet in place? And he says...
There's a lot of skepticism about government running programs.
There's a lot... And he doesn't want to be part of falling into the trap of adding to that skepticism. But what, pray tell, is $2.5 billion worth of tax increases? What is that, Ned Lamont?
There's a lot of skepticism about government running programs.
Of course there is. Because you don't run programs. You take money away and divert it to your voters. The programs are incidental. The point of all this is rigging elections. Everything they do is election rigging.
There's a lot of skepticism about government running programs. I hear that wherever I go. And I'm going to do everything I can to make this bold, new item something that people have confidence we're getting right.
That looks
All right, so
pretty
he
good.
wants there to be
Let's put it together.
confidence in paid family medical leave because he wants there to be an option for private insurance companies to offer this coverage rather than a new government agency. But he doesn't mind a new government agency on tolls. The new government agency on tolls would have the ability to automatically, whenever it feels like it, raise taxes. And still, there's a lot of skepticism about big government, but he doesn't seem to mind with tolls. I don't know if he's dumb, he thinks we're dumb. I don't know exactly what the play is here. But making sense doesn't seem to be the governor's strong suit. Well, it just doesn't. I don't mean to be mean. But what is he talking about?
But I also think, coming from my life as a business person, I'm going to do things in the most efficient way possible. I want to do big, bold, progressive things, but sometimes I do them in a conservative way.
You can't do that. There isn't a conservative model for oppression. Conservatism is based in libertarianism. It's based in small government. It is a reflection of the founders' vision. The thing we want to conserve is the greatness of America. The thing that destroys it is big, bold, progressive ideas. Because we've proven, have we not proven that the best way to cure poverty is the American system of government as designed by the founders? Has not America the great economic activity that has generated the incredible world affluence building that has come from America? Has that not cured more of society's ills than anything these communists can think of?
Anything. Way possible. I want to do big, bold, progressive things, but sometimes I do them in a conservative way.
Sometimes you do them in a conservative way. Well, what is the motivation, I wonder, for a socialist governor to want to do big, bold, progressive things, i.e. socialist, anti-American things? What would motivate him to want to do those things in a conservative way? It's a contradiction in terms. What is he talking about?
I want to do big, bold, progressive things, but sometimes I do them in a conservative way, in a way that gives the taxpayers a high degree of confidence that we know what we're doing.
What? Did he say that? He wants to give us a high degree of confidence that he knows what he's doing. But yesterday, he came out against his own party's top priority in terms of vote buying during this session. Well, it's hard to say any one thing is the top priority, but it's their number one bill. It's SB 1. Senate Bill 1.
I want to do big, bold, progressive things, but sometimes I do them in a conservative way, in a way that gives the taxpayers a high degree of confidence that we know what we're doing.
Oh my Lord, this guy is SNL.
In a way that gives the taxpayers a high degree of confidence that we know what we're doing.
This guy is a comedian. I feel badly for him. Like he didn't get, his mission in life was to do comedy. And he didn't have the chance because he was born rich, and you're born rich and you don't take your drives and play them out in aspiration of success and making money. You just sit there and you try to do something to make it look like you justify the wealth that is in your pockets every time you put your pants on, and you didn't do anything to put it there. It's just there. It's just money in your pocket, and you did nothing.
Yep.
So he could have been a great comedy writer, maybe, for David Letterman or something like that.
In a way that gives the taxpayers a high degree of confidence that we know what we're doing, and that we take their tax dollars seriously.
Take our tax dollars seriously. Have you ever heard anything more ridiculous from the guy who wants to take the number 2 most taxed state in the country, crushed by the weight of that tax burden, the economy sputtering along, barely maintaining equilibrium, 1% growth in GDP, and he wants to take a hammer to its fingers and break them so those fingers can't labor anymore? What is he talking about?
Output transistors are polarized, so we want the
He wants to
PNP
add $1
over
billion
here.
in tolls. He wants you to pay $1,000 a year to drive to work that you're not paying currently, starting next year. And he wants to trick you into this by pretending that 40% or half of that bill is going to be paid from out of state. But whether out of staters give us any money or not, and by the way, the official number is 25%. They keep distorting it. But even so, it's the least efficient. It's the least efficient way of collecting
more commonly
taxes
called amongst technicians NPM.
that they can use. So you need that money from the out-of-staters just to cover the cost of installing and maintaining and operating the tolls.
Now let's see if
There's nothing less
the lock
efficient
washers
than
will have a
tolls.
better faring on these transistors. seeing if
I feel like I have to say this stuff over and over because it's hard to grasp. I had a conversation with my wife yesterday. It took, I had a moment where I was telling her about, she said, why are you always talking about the unions and the partnership with the Democrats? And I said, well, because it's gross what they do. Imagine, she said, like what? I said, imagine you're a police officer and you're making $100,000 a year, but your pension is going to be based on your highest 3 years of earnings. So during that 3 years, you take every detail you can get, and suddenly you're making $200,000 a year, working 100 hours a week. And then your pension's based on that. She said, what? That's disgusting, she said. I feel sick. She kept talking about it all afternoon. I feel sick. I can't believe that happens. Believe it. Believe that the president of the state school is going to make $300,000 a year on her pension. Believe it that there's, how many people is it? Over 1,100 people who are making over $100,000 a year in pensions. Believe it. Anyway, she had an aha moment where suddenly, okay, now I get what you're talking about. And it was just a reminder to me that I have to work all the time to help you understand that you have to work every day to raise your level of cynicism so you can understand fully just how dangerous and bad these people are. How every little twitch of compassion they claim to feel is actually a desire to rig elections by taking money out of your pocket when you drive to work or when you go to the store or when you buy your car or when you pay a bill, whatever it is. They want a piece of the action so they can waste the money. So they can waste the money. We live in a golden age. The last 70 years have been unbelievable, the amount of wealth this country has generated, and we don't have it. We don't have that money. It's all been wasted because of these thugs.
What the hell are you doing wrong, Ken?
Stealing it. To use it to buy votes, to rig elections. That's all they do. Call me and mention a policy, and let's examine it and see if it's good public policy or if it's just a way to rig elections. 860-522-9842. I would be surprised if we can find a single government policy that is not there in order to generate income that they can use to buy votes, that hasn't been tailored in such a way as to make it part of the great election rigging
What are
scheme.
you doing wrong?
And we've been negotiating in good faith with legislature about paid family for some time, and I don't think we're there. And I was really surprised to see they're running the bill in the state Senate.
This is the governor yesterday, claiming to have business experience, and that's why he's a good governor. That's why he's fit for the job, because he knows how to run things. And listen to this statement again. This is remarkable.
And we've been negotiating in good faith with legislature about paid family for some time, and I don't think we're there. And I was really surprised to see they're running the bill in the state Senate.
He was surprised yesterday.
Okay.
Keep in mind, this is one political party.
We have the
The
offset.
House controlled by the Democrats. Senate controlled
180
by the
degrees
Democrats.
out of the
Governor's
face.
office controlled by the Democrats.
Not too good.
And yet,
Get
yesterday,
out of the way.
when they decided to have a vote on paid family medical leave in the Senate,
And I was really surprised to see they're running the bill in the state Senate.
he didn't know in his own building what was happening yesterday. He was surprised. This is how inept he is. This is how over his head he is. This is how bad the staff is that he put together. This is a guy who has zero preparation and demonstrated in his first few months an utter inability to do the job. He's alienated himself so much from the leadership of his own party that they don't even tell him that they're running a bill, or they did tell him, like they say they did. Martin Looney, the head of the Senate for the Democrats, he says they told him a long time ago. So I don't know. Is the governor incompetent, or are they already so scared of him or disdainful of him in the legislature that they don't work together? Or is his staff so bad they don't even bother to tell him? But be optimistic. Be positive about how good times are getting for the people who want to save the state. Because this crowd is the gang that couldn't shoot straight. 860-522-9842. Phil in Hartford. Hello, Phil.
Yeah, hey, how you doing, Todd? Just quickly, I was reading through the FMLA, and I found out that state workers are entitled to 24 weeks of paid FMLA, while a regular employee of the state would be entitled for 12 weeks.
Well, they have their own deal already. They don't need this.
Yeah, it's crazy.
No, but that's what unions are.
Yeah, and I think...
Can you say it out loud? Public sector unions are only there to help Democrats rig elections.
And it shows. It shows. With Aaron Simowitz as being the chairman and as also...
Well, that's right.
The lockwashers work much better on this side.
A full-time
This is the side
union
that was
worker
not.
is the most powerful
Previously
elected official in
declared.
state government, the Speaker of the House. It's a shocking, disturbing, grotesque distortion of the notion of representative government, and nobody even seems to talk about it in the state. Thank you for bringing it up.
Yeah, it's criminal.
It
Hey,
is.
You're doing a good job. Thanks a lot. Enjoy
Thank
your
you,
show.
Phil. Thank you. Good to hear from you. All right.
Okay, we're there.
No, it's
We
shocking
are
when you
there.
see this stuff, but it goes on. The ethics committee,
collectors
the commission
in there
ruled
tight.
on it
Very nice.
when he was
What, are you walking?
ascending to the speakership, and they said,
you
"Oh yeah, it's
walking?
fine." But of course, the ethics committee. What is
All
that?
right, let's put this back together.
What is that? We wouldn't expect them to be ethical, would we?
And we're going to do an interim test.
Everything is
and
rigged.
hopefully there are no surprises.
It's all rigged. But it can be saved. The state can be saved. This is the moment, as a matter of fact. incompetent governor, tired, discouraged at the end of his career, union leader, and a critical moment where there is no money left in the state and the state is bankrupt and can't pay its bills, so it keeps coming back to you for more money. You have to eventually start screaming no. I think that time is now. 860-522 WTIC traffic time, Thursday afternoon. What's going on the roads? Mark Christopher is the guy in the WTIC Traffic Center. Good afternoon to you, Marcus.
Todd, good afternoon to you and to everyone. And if you're traveling 84 eastbound and the Hartford, delays kick in just after 44 down to the Bulkley Bridge. East of the river's okay. Westbound 84 is running slow, approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 45 Flatbush Avenue, and again by 41 South Main Street in West Hartford. South 91 delays 33 down to 32 I and B, and again 23 down to 22. Looks like a minor accident on the right shoulder just prior to 22. North of 91 slowing right lane 25, 26 for the Putnam Bridge again. About a half mile before 27 up to 29 in the Charter Oak Bridge. Big problems right now. Northbound on the Merritt Parkway, we have an overturned vehicle in Stratford between exit 52 and 53. Highway shut down northbound at exit 52. Delays are back to 49 and behind that. Rubbernecking delays southbound on the Wilbur-Cross Parkway from 54 in Milford down to the accident scene. Traveling into Middletown 9 northbound, you've got delays from Harbor Park to the Aragoni Bridge. 9 southbound slows Cromwell Middletown line to the Aragoni. Heading into Waterbury, 84 eastbound delays 17 to 21 into the Mixmaster. Westbound 84 is a little tight, 23 to 21. And Route 8 southbound at Waterbury delays 32 down to 30. Road construction in the right lane. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Mostly cloudy the rest of this afternoon with a shower thunderstorm in the area. High is 70 to 75. Considerable cloudiness this evening. A couple of showers and thunderstorms. Any thunderstorm can be heavy and produce damaging winds and hail. Partly cloudy late tonight and a low of 58. Partly sunny and breezy tomorrow. A nice day, high 75. For tomorrow night, mostly clear and a little bit cooler with a low of 51. Saturday, a mix of sun and clouds, high 78. Couple of showers and thunderstorms are likely Saturday night with a low of 57. Much warmer and more humid on Sunday, partly sunny, high 87. It'll stay fairly humid Sunday night, mainly clear, low is 61 degrees. Monday, Memorial Day, mostly sunny and warm, but lower humidity, high 82. Partly cloudy and comfortable Monday night with a low of 55. Tuesday, clouds and some sun, maybe a couple of showers, high 75 degrees. This is meteorologist Bob Larson in the WTIC Weather Center.
The proud voice of Connecticut's capital with local news, weather, traffic, and talk, and your home of the Boston Red Sox. WTIC, WTIC HD, and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford. A radio.com station. The news starts now.
It's 4 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Partly sunny, 69 degrees. Supporters say it is the biggest healthcare reform efforts ever undertaken by a state. Democratic legislative leaders and Governor Lamont rolling out a so-called public option for health insurance in Connecticut. State Senator Matt Lesser is co-chair of the legislature's Insurance Committee.
The cost of health care by 20% for individuals and for small businesses. We're going to do this by transforming the way we pay for health care. We're going to lower the price of prescription drugs by bringing in affordable prescription drugs from Canada. We're going to expand Medicaid for low-income adults.
Lesser says the system would be funded in part by taxing opioid manufacturers. Now, minority Republicans say they had to learn about this proposal from lobbyists. Insurance Committee ranking member Senator Kevin Kelly wants to know why the plan was rolled out so close to the legislature's June 5th adjournment.
When you start to put cost containment, when you regulate an industry, when you have such a pervasive and transformational government takeover, there should be a little bit more conversation than what's happening.
State lawmakers still hopeful of passing a budget before the June 5th mandatory adjournment date in the legislature. House Speaker Joe Arasimowicz says the leaders are still crafting a bill. House Majority Leader Matt Ritter says one major factor is playing into the process.
And one of the game changers overall has been, for the first time, and I mean, maybe you've been here, Mr. Speaker, for growth. I haven't been here. OFA said if you do nothing, you are up $350 million in year one and you're up $400 million in year two. So those growth changes from OFA's projections were budget game changers as well.
Mayor Simowitz says the fact that work on the toll legislation is expected to be pushed back to special session leads him to be optimistic they can get a budget passed before the session ends. They continue to pick up the pieces in Missouri after powerful storms ripped through the state Wednesday.
I didn't realize how emotional it would be to see the devastation in this town and everything tore up and things gone that have been here forever.
Jefferson City hit hard. Governor Mike Parson.
The damage is just devastating up here, and we're days to come to get all this fixed. The warnings got out early. I think everybody knew that the opportunity to take shelter, I think that was there, and that's the main thing.
He says as a result of those warnings, no fatalities were reported in Jefferson City. Wildfires raging in parts of Israel.
Forests were set ablaze amid a fierce heat wave in Israel. Temperatures soared to 100 degrees here in Jerusalem and even higher elsewhere. Several communities were evacuated and more than a dozen homes burned down. Officials blamed Palestinians for the fires in southern Israel, accusing them of sending burning balloons across the border. Robert Berger, CBS News, Jerusalem.
And a man who's been labeled a pirate and an eco-terrorist was honored at the state capitol today. More from WTIC's Aaron Kupek.
Many know Captain Paul Watson from the TV series Whale Wars, where he and his Sea Shepherd Conservation Society interfered with the Japanese whaling trade.
You know, New England is in a very good position to speak out against whaling and everything because of the history of whaling in here. And if the people of New England can give up whaling, then the people of Norway, Iceland, and Japan and other countries can give up whaling too, because they haven't been doing it as long.
Here at the Capitol, Watson was honored for his environmental activism. He's calling on lawmakers to make Connecticut the 14th state to ban the trade of shark fins. At the state capitol, Aaron Kupek, WTIC 1080 News.
And on Wall Street today, the Dow is down 286 points, NASDAQ down 122, S&P 500 off 34. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Hi, this is Joel Johnson with the program Money Wisdom. Financial planning does not have to be complicated. It does not have to be overwhelming. Most of our clients, they like the fact that we keep it simple. If you want to know more about that, tune in Saturday mornings, 8:30, right here on WTIC News Talk 1080. That's Joel Johnson's Money Wisdom.
Just give us some truth, would ya? Welcome to WTIC. Thanks so much for tuning in. Paid family medical leave is just one of the things that is creating a mess for the Democrats. And this is, I don't want anybody to feel overconfident that somehow any fight has been won. Just that there is reason for optimism because the Democrats are in a tizzy and can't come together on basic things. Amy in Marlboro. Hello there, Amy.
Hi, Todd. How are you?
Thanks for the call. I'm good.
I'm a state employee, and I just want to say that that's true that we get 24 weeks for FMLA, but that's in a 2-year span. So that's 12 weeks a year. If I take 24 weeks in 1 year, I can't take that again until another 2 years.
Wow, that's a pretty oppressive program, huh? Do you think
federal?
Do you think the 12 weeks a year is a better deal?
No, I don't. I'm a Republican, although I work for the state. And I don't use 12 weeks a year every year.
24 weeks. That's
in 2 years.
But that's half a year. Isn't that extraordinary?
But that's a federal law.
Well, that's my point. Isn't that extraordinary? That anybody would get to take 1/4 of every 2 years off in order to deal with a family crisis if they have to?
Well, if you're older and you have a heart attack, then at least you get 24 weeks to recoup.
Well, no, I realize it's nice if you're the recipient of the benefit. It's just an expensive thing. It's an amazing, generous benefit. All right, thank you for the call. Good to hear from you. We've got to get a traffic
Okay,
update. Let's
our
say
output
good afternoon
stages are
to
back
Mike Allen.
in, wired up.
He's
and
in
what we're going to do
WTIC
is
Traffic
do
Center.
an
Hello there,
intro
Mike.
test. I don't want to move
Hello,
on.
Todd. Good afternoon,
to another
everyone.
area,
The
I
drive
guess,
southbound
until we're
91
sure of
carries
that.
a mix of slower moving and stop-and-go traffic
There's
moving
no
by
problems.
exit 34 down to the 84 interchange. A little sluggish again near exit 27 Brainerd Road. South of downtown Hartford, you
Set
can
up
plan
the
on
bias
losing
and
speed.
check the
Approaching
DC
exit
offset.
23 West Street,
That's okay,
down
then
to
we're
just
gonna move
about
on.
exit 22. We
Stop
have the
dead
remains
on
of an
tracks.
accident. Right shoulder,
We
right
have to
lane
figure
should be in
out
the
why.
final phases of being cleared out. Once you pass that, southbound's all right. Northbound 91's in good shape for the most part. No significant delays. Eastbound 84, look for heavy traffic as you move by Sisson Avenue exit 46 with some stop and go out to the Bulkley Bridge. Westbound 84, not bad. Just a little heavy heading into West Hartford. Traveling Route 2, not a real big deal. Just some volume pushing through there. We do have a big problem, though, in Stratford. Northbound Route 15, the Wilbur Cross in Stratford again. Between exits 52 and 53, there's a rollover accident blocking the left lane. Traffic's backed up all the way back to exit 47 behind it. Traffic and weather together on the 8th. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Positive little sunshine this afternoon in parts of the area. Shower and thunderstorms. Some heavy thunderstorm activity now both north and south of the immediate area. High of 70 to 75. A couple of showers and thunderstorms before midnight tonight. Any of these can bring gusty winds and heavy rain. Partly cloudy late tonight, low 58. Tomorrow partly sunny and breezy, high 75. A mixture of clouds and sunshine Saturday, high 78. Right now it is 68 in West Hartford, is 71 in Plantsville, and 67 in Hartford. This is meteorologist Bob Larson in the WTIC Weather Center.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans.
We're gonna power it up
30% of
with
Americans who are
protection
planning
mode.
home improvements of $5,000
That
or more
means
will pay
there's
for those
a,
renovations with a high-interest credit
power
card.
supply
That may
that we're
not
gonna
be a
use.
great
We don't plug it
idea.
into
A
the
better
wall.
idea
Plug it
may be to
into
take cash out of your home with a Quicken Loans 30-year fixed-rate mortgage.
Special
The rate
power
today on our
supply
30-year
has
fixed-rate
protection
mortgage
on it.
is
That way, if there is a
4.375%. APR
It indicates
4.65%.
that,
Call us
and it
today at
sets
800-QUICKEN or go to
down
rocketmortgage.com.
the
Rate subject to change. Pay 2.13% fee to receive this discounted rate. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. License in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030.
Okay, so we've got the
86
hooked
burglars
up.
were asked how they broke into homes, and they all said they knocked on the door first. That's why you need Blink XT2 cameras. They detect motion, so you'll get an alert and you can see and talk to who's there. Tell the delivery guy where to leave the package, or just say hi when the kids get home. Blink XT2 cameras start under $100. So thanks to Blink, home security just got easier.
Blink cameras are available on Amazon and Best Buy, or visit blinkprotect.com/alert. blinkprotect.com/alert.
Fresh Japanese cuisine is right around the corner at Sakura Garden in South Windsor. Our hibachi is always entertaining and delicious, whether it's for lunch or dinner. And if a short lunch break is what you need, our lunch specials are quick and reasonably priced. Don't forget to try our freshly made sushi, sashimi, or one of our delectable desserts. At Sakura Garden, our full menu is available no matter where you sit in our restaurant. Sakura Garden at the shops at Evergreen Walk in South Windsor, or visit us online at sakuragardenct.com.
And now, an ad from Dad.
All right, save money on car insurance when you bundle home and auto with Progressive. Can I take these off? All right. What is this? This looks good. Wow. That's well made. Where did you get this? I'm talking to you. Yeah, where did you get this? It's good stuff. That's solid. That's not veneer, that's solid stuff.
Progressive can't save you from becoming your parents, but we can save you money when you bundle home and auto. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
Are you on Instagram? So are we. Follow us at WTIC 1080.
And it's going to hurt my ears and distort this microphone. So far, so good.
There's a lot of skepticism about government running programs. I hear that wherever I go. There's a lot of skepticism about government running programs. I hear that wherever I go. There's a lot of skepticism about government running programs. I hear that wherever I go. There's a lot of skepticism about government running programs.
Okay.
I hear that wherever I go.
I hear it too.
There's a lot of skepticism about government running programs.
How about this?
I hear that wherever I go.
Nettie.
There's a lot of skepticism about government running programs.
All right, Ned.
I hear that wherever I go.
All right,
There's a lot of
Ned.
skepticism about
We understand this. It may be new to you, but we've known it for a long time. The people have known it for a long time. Of course, there's skepticism about government running programs. Government has dismantled the financial well-being of the state. So we know We know there's a lot of skepticism. We are the possessors of the skepticism. We are its purveyors. And it's obvious. The trouble is, we have elected officials who think, in the face of that skepticism, the thing to do is to create more big programs, which of course paid family medical leave is. And it's the same trick. It's the same trick every time. They make it look like an innocent thing. It's only going to be 0.5% on your payroll tax, which of course won't cover what they're trying to give away. They want to give away way more money than that. It will go into financial crisis right away, and they'll start having to raise the taxes. This is the game they play, and they say it's out of love because they love us so much. They just love us. And then you got a governor who's a big lover of hateful, compassionate programs, and he says stuff like this.
There's a lot of skepticism about government running programs. I hear that wherever I go.
And he wants to do something about it. He wants to help. So he throws some little bone of private sector respect into his paid family medical leave option and says that there should be an option of private insurers being able to offer this medical leave insurance, not just the state, because he's worried about the state building a new bureaucracy around this $400 million of income that's going to flow into it. But he doesn't mind that with tolls. Why isn't he worried about tolls creating a new billion-dollar business? He's worried about tolls, the new billion-dollar business. He's worried about giving all that money. Listen to him.
And what I've learned about this bill gives me real pause.
Okay, this is
to me, we are starting up a $400 million company, a big new insurance program. And
$400 million. How much is tolls? $1 billion.
And what I've learned about this bill...
and it's what he's learned about this bill. Do you see how he doesn't realize he's doing it because he's inexperienced at this business? But he's setting himself up as the victim. What I've learned. It's like he doesn't know what's going on, but then he picks up the paper and he finds out.
And the idea that it's going to be led by this top-heavy bureaucracy, it's 13 or 15 people, you need a supermajority to get anything passed.
13 to 15 people is depressing him about the size of government. How many people? Can somebody tell me, please? I forget. How many people work for the state government? How many people on pensions? How much money goes out in payroll for the state government? And he's having a fight with his own party
says 10
over the explosion of bureaucracy over 12 people being hired to run the paid family medical leave. The guy's got a screw loose. And of course, today they already said they're going to postpone it so they can work out their details, so that he doesn't have to veto it. I'm telling you, this is a time for optimism because the Democrats are collapsing under the weight of this philosophical difference. You hear the governor talking like he believes a little bit. Even if he won't act on it, he believes in the American system of government. That's the governor. Then in the legislature, you've got a couple of other groups. You've got the people who are socialists, and then you have the ones who are communists. And I'm using those terms loosely. They don't translate directly and literally, but they do encapsulate a sense of plunder is the name of the game. That the job of the government is to take away as much as possible to give it to people who vote for Democrats, whether that's urban people who vote for Democrats or government interests and unions who vote for Democrats. You know, they're divided up. So the people who work in the cities, which are a second America created by the Democrats, funded by state and federal governments, they want more money all the time. And that's where Democrats get the majority of their votes from. So you've got this division of which side is going to win. And the extreme left wants higher taxes on people doing well. They want to take more money from people who have money so they can continue to grow the plunder and make state
Okay,
government
test
bigger. And then,
21
why is Ned talking like this? It's
is
so
across
confusing. 860-522 WTIC traffic time. Mike Allen in the WTIC Traffic Center. Hello there, Michael. What's going on the roads?
Labeled. Well, looks like.
Mike.
Hi.
Come in,
Good
sir.
Okay, Todd, the drive eastbound 84 carries heavy traffic as you move by Sisson Avenue exit 46 with some stop and go out to the Bulkley Bridge east of the river. Not too bad, although we're just getting reports, actually westbound, as you move into downtown, you'll slow, of an accident between, let's call it between the tunnel and Asylum Avenue exit 48. The right lane or right shoulder might be blocked because of it. Keep an eye out for that. Traveling southbound 91. Look for some heavy traffic as you move down by exit 35 or 34, heading on down to the 84 interchange. South of town, you're tied up, passing exit 23, right down to the Route 9 interchange, the result of an accident that blocks the right shoulder and right lane there. Northbound 91's in decent shape, a little heavy by exit 27. Route 2, not so bad through East Hartford. 91 southbound, we got a call, we thank the caller. Delays heading south out of Springfield. Looks like we have an accident right in the area of Forest Park as you just south of the South End Bridge, at least from the looks of things. Traffic backed up back to 291 southbound in Springfield, northbound backed up a good part of the way back toward the Connecticut line. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
This update brought to you by Companions and Homemakers. They've been providing in-home care for the elderly for over 29 years. Remember, home is possible. We can show you how. Learn more by calling or visit companionsandhomemakers.com. Here's your weather forecast. Overnight, it will be a bit messy. Thunderstorms, perhaps. Temperatures dropping down to 58 degrees. Could be windy as well. It's going to be a rough night. Tomorrow, sunny and breezy with a high in the mid-70s. Saturday, a mix of sun and clouds again in the mid to even upper 70s with thunderstorms holding off until nighttime. Sunday, some sunshine, a warmer and humid day with a high of 87. Right now, it's way more pleasant than 87. Right now, it is 68 degrees at WTIC.
WTIC News Talk 1080.
Can you hear the drum? There's a revolution coming.
Yeah, baby. Are you singing along? I'm psyched because we have figured it out over the last few weeks. The formula for changing the way the state behaves, at least in some small way, we can direct it. We know that. Right here on the radio.
Okay, both
we
output boards
can
have
put
been set up.
pressure on Republicans to behave like an opposition party.
Nice.
They've got two choices. A
Wow,
minority party of how to behave. A minority party can either say no to everything automatically, 100% of the time, or they can decide to be collaborators with the Democrats. They can say, they can pretend to be opposition on certain items. Every fourth or fifth or seventh bill, they jump up and down and yell and scream, and they say, "Ooh, we're such good fighters. We're tough guys, and we fight those Democrats." But really what they're doing is positioning themselves to be collaborators in getting the bad things passed. And this is what you have to be aware of. This is what Republicans have been doing in the state. So when you wonder why Democrats have gotten away with so much and why there's no counter argument, see that's the problem to me. If you're collaborating, the excuse for collaborating is, oh, well, they'll throw